Let's bring in Marcus Spears, the ESPN NFL analyst, contributor to Get Up, NFL Live, Sports Center, and was a big hit last time he was on the show. Marcus, thanks for joining us. I'm curious that it feels like we can blame Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if we're giving the Bengals enough credit for what they did in the second half to him defensively. So where do you start?
I'm starting with the Bengals, man. Like, I'm starting with the team that won because they earned it. And it was, to me, one of the better adjustments second half defensively that I've seen in a long time. And what they did was, because when you playing against that type of talent, you have to sacrifice something. Or you got to find like a middle ground to say, hey, our percentages will give us more of an opportunity to get off the field on third down, or more opportunities to put the ball back in Joe Burrow's hands. And when they went to that three-man rush and using a D lineman to spy, like they did with Hubbard, when they start rushing, and I get hyped, DP, because this D-line talk I'm talking about now. I get hyped when I start talking about this. But those guys were like, and I make this analogy all the time on NFL Live. Those guys up front were like a basketball team, where when you pressing, we are trying to run you into a trap. We are trying to run you into a forced trap to either make you call timeout, to make you turn the ball over, or make a bad pass. And that's exactly what they did. Earlier in that game, first half, as a D-line coach, I'm looking at everything unfold. And I'm thinking to myself, I just watched Patrick Mahomes a week ago rush for 70 yards against the Buffalo Bills because they were undisciplined in their pass rush. But I also saw the Buffalo Bills rushing 4 and not having enough guys in coverage, with Pat having enough time to take advantage of that. So what the Bengals did was they said, look, we're going to turn our defensive line into a basketball team. And we are going to press, but we also are not going to give up the deep ball over the top. And the guts that you have to say that I'm going to give Patrick Mahomes 2 to 3 more seconds to survey, but this is our best path forward. And to see those D linemen executed at that level, this game was about Hendrickson, Hubbard, Reeder. This game was about those guys up front saying, we are going to sacrifice numbers. We are going to sacrifice trying to get sacks or make splash plays. And we're going to contain Patrick Mahomes. And these 8 guys in coverage got to handle their responsibility on the back end to make him hold it long enough for us to eventually get some pressure on him.
Second half, 3 of 8, 15 yards, an interception, sacked 4 times. This is a 3-man rush.
Yes, DP, I'm telling you, dude. What I expected from Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid is what I got from the Cincinnati Bengals coaching staff. Their adjustments. KC abandoned the run.
I know.
And against what they were doing in Cincinnati, you got to run the football. And we've been screaming this, DP. You have to run them out of that defense. You got to run it out of them. You got to screen it. You got to get quick passes to the outside edges and allow your playmakers to make plays. They consistently drop back and try to go downfield. Let's let Pat survey. Dude, it's 8 people back there. Let's hand the football off. Let's make them adjust. And the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs even ended up in that position is because they decided at a large part of this season that we are going to get McKinnon involved. We're going to get Clyde Edwards-Helaire involved. We're going to get Williams involved. We're going to throw quick dump passes to Mecole Hardman. We're going to get the ball in Tyreek hands quickly. And in this game, for some reason, watching the Cincinnati Bengals play you in order for you to throw underneath, they did not do it. And they did not run the football, and it played right into what Cincinnati wanted to do defensively.
And also, and I don't know if it's fair to say it, but I thought it in real time that ego was playing into the Kansas City Chiefs play calling at the end of the first half. Kick the damn field goal. You get the ball to start the second half. You don't have no timeouts. Kick the field goal. But it just felt like
what I think is, and to your point, yes, Kick the field goal. I screamed that to Brandon Staley all season long with the Chargers. They'd have been in the playoffs if he just kicked the damn field goals or punt the ball. But I think what happens, man, in those moments, you've seen Patrick Mahomes make those plays so much that you become drunk to it. And that is another part of me saying, because here's what I have to imagine Andy Reid was thinking. All right. I'm a trust my quarterback, because we see Lamar do it with John Harbaugh all the time. I'm going to trust my quarterback, and with 5 seconds on the clock, if nothing's there, he's going to do what he did the previous play and throw the ball in the ground. We're going to have a second or two left, and we can kick the field goal. Patrick Mahomes was the issue on that play. And I get what you're saying, DP. 100% understand it. But for Mahomes to not know that situation and not understand, and the perplexing thing is, he did it the play before. He killed the play. He threw it into the ground, and then he threw a swing pass. Now, because there's so many sides to this. All right, what Patrick Mahomes is thinking also is, I got the fastest man on any football team in the NFL in the flats. He's going to make a guy miss and get in the end zone. Like, let's give Eli Apple a tremendous amount of credit for coming up and making that play. And football is always like that, hindsight, right? Like, don't throw it to the outside to Tyreek Hill. But how many times would we say that? Tyreek Hill matched up man-to-man. We can get the ball in his hands quickly, and let's see if he can make a guy miss. Because most of the time, majority of the time, that's what happens. And I think that's what Andy Reid was thinking. And I think that's what Pat was thinking on that particular throw. But he should have deaded that ball, DP, and just kicked the field goal.
He's Marcus Spears, former NFL lineman. He'll be on NFL Live today, the entire week at 4 Eastern. And you can see that crew. They'll be at the Super Bowl coverage on the mothership as well. All right, let's turn our attention to the Rams and Niners. It was 10-7, and if I couldn't believe the Niners were leading. It just felt like the Rams made it look easy first drive, and I was trying to figure that game out. It felt like it was a heavyweight boxing match where styles make a boxing match. But I didn't know if either could deliver the knockout blow. What was the big difference between, the Rams winning or the Niners losing?
Look no further, DP, and this is going to be boring because we love talking about Stafford and the offense. The San Francisco 49ers had 50 total yards rushing. They don't win like that. Deebo Samuel had 7 rushes for 40-something yards. Elijah Mitchell had 11 rushes for 40-something yards. Or not even 40, like 38 or something like that. I just looked at it. And that is not conducive. DP, what I've been saying, bro, and this is where Jimmy Garoppolo comes into the fold, right? Because we go back and forth. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a solid to good NFL quarterback. I do. I firmly believe that. But if I'm a defensive guy, if I'm Raheem Morris, I want Jimmy Garoppolo to win the game. That's how I want to live with the San Francisco 49ers. And let's go through a couple sequences of events, right? You miss Kittle over the middle, which potentially could have been, if not a touchdown, you get 3 points out of that, right? That was a huge. You miss, I think, Brandon Ayuk backside, and Jalen Ramsey drops the interception. I got both games in my head. DP, this is my sheet. This is my sheet from the game breakdowns. I'm breaking the games down. But I think there was another potential for interception as well. But what the Rams did from a defensive standpoint was they got this game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. And what the Rams were thinking is, I got Aaron Donald, I got Von Miller, I got Leonard Floyd, Greg Gaines, who's been playing phenomenal, by the way, doesn't get a lot of credit, big defensive tackle, and A'Shaun Robinson has been playing well. Those two guys, particularly A'Shaun Robinson and Greg Gaines, helped with the run. They did a phenomenal job defending the run. But DP, this is why you have closers. This is why you go get Von Miller. This is why you go get a Evan Ingram if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. This is why you sign a Trey Hendrickson in the offseason if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. Because playoff games comes down to this. Do you have the quarterback that's going to make the play, or do you have the closers? Think about when Peyton won his Super Bowl in Denver. It was DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. Those were the closers. So the Rams got this game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands late in the game, and they got the best closers in the NFL, or one of the best, if not the best ever, in Aaron Donald. And I'm not just talking about that particular play. I'm talking about a sequence of events that leads up to this game being in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. See, Sean McVay felt comfortable with his quarterback and the game being in his hands late in the game. Kyle Shanahan coaches around that. He tries to coach around that. But when Deebo Samuel doesn't have those big 20 and 30-yard impact plays, he had the one screen that he took to the crib. And other than that, that was it. And then Shanahan didn't get the ball in Deebo's hands late in the game either. There's a lot of blame to go around, DP. But if you want to break this game down in a nutshell, like you just asked me, I said a lot to say this. They gave up 50 yards of rushing, and they made Jimmy Garoppolo beat him, and he couldn't do it. Now, Jimmy in week 17 in the regular season, he made all of the throws in the second half to get that team the lead, to get San Francisco the lead. And even still, with that evidence that Raheem Morris had, he still said, let's get this game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands, and we feel good about our chances.
Why are the Rams only 3.5-point favorites over the Bengals at home in the Super Bowl?
Because Joe Burrow is that dude, bro. Like there's no more obviously denying it. But I think when you look at like Cincinnati, even through this run, we are still trying to wrap our head around your offensive line not being elite and you about to play in the Super Bowl. But it speaks to the talent, DP, and that's what it is. It's the talent, man. It's Jamar Chase. When Jamar Chase is being doubled, it's T. Higgins going off for 100 yards. It's Tyler Boyd making plays. When you need runs, it's Joe Mixon, and I'm gonna get an offensive line some credit in that. They created paths in order to make. I don't think because Cincinnati won and we get blinded, that last drive to get a field goal was elite. That is what we expect from the teams that we've grown accustomed to making those type of drives. In that game, after Patrick Mahomes' turnover in overtime, the Cincinnati Bengals went to a physical run game, and they said, Joe Burrow, you got to lead the way with a few throws. All right? And we looked at this team 2 weeks ago, their quarterback got sacked 9 times, DP. And they won the freaking game, man. So ultimately, what is happening now, the Cincinnati Bengals, people are starting to realize that dude that wears number 9, he can overcome a lot of deficiencies that they have as a football team. And then we have to pick our poison offensively, because if we do double Jamar Chase, they got some other guys that can make you pay in some one-on-one situations. And when you found the one-on-one with Chase late in the game, it was a touchdown. So I understand it. Now, I think this is the toughest matchup for him, based on what I just said about Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and all of those guys. I think this is the toughest matchup. I think if Aaron Donald has Joe Burrow in his grasp, like Chris Jones did, and he misses that first tackle, Aaron Donald can run Joe Burrow down and make the second play as far as trying to clip his legs from under him. Those are the game-changing type plays, DP, because like we never imagine a blowout in the Super Bowl. We never imagine that a team is going to come out like Seattle did Denver, and that the game just goes like that, and you like, dang, man, that was very anticlimactic, when we start thinking about it. But since he just got something, and to your point, what you asked me earlier, that defense, hey, man, like if Eli Apple is not getting exploited in certain situations in coverage, and Awuzie is not getting taken advantage of, and they can protect those guys a little bit, because I think Bates and Bell on the back end, as good a safety combo as you can get in the league, outside of Poirier and Hyde in Buffalo. That defense up front, though, with Hendrickson, the way Reeder has been playing the run, Hubbard, and what they're able to adjust and morph into, they are big too, DP. They're physical defensive line. Think about this, too. The Cincinnati Bengals don't have those 240-pound defensive ends. They got those big physical guys that can stay on the field 1 through 3 downs, and they are elite enough to rush the passer. So this is a good football team outside of what we've seen from that offensive line at times. And look, man, like, I'm a Louisiana guy. I'm an LSU guy.
Mm-hmm.
You can believe it if you want to, but 9 just has it. He just has that special gene that in those moments, I bet you, DP, in those damn moments with Joe Burrow, we could check his blood pressure or his heart rate. It'll be at a resting pace. That's who he is, man.
Yeah. Could you bench Orlovsky, Mina Kimes, and Laura Rutledge, all 3 at the same time?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. I think all 3 of them together maybe 340.
But I can't throw Keyshawn in there.
You throw Keyshawn in there, I can't get him up. No.
I can't put Damian Woody in there either. I can't do that either.
Maybe by itself, but not with others. Not with others, man.
Yeah. Thank you, bud. Have a great week, and thanks again for joining us.
As always, man, I look forward to talking to you again.
That's Marcus Spears, ESPN NFL analyst, and he'll be on NFL Live Monday through Friday at 4 Eastern.